I'm Pragya, and I bring to you excerpts from the latest issue of Outlook. One nation, one election, one nation, many people. The issue brings to you diverse debate and points of view on the idea of one nation and one election. In the overlap section, editor Chinky Sinha interviews climate activist and innovator Sonam Wangchuk in Ladakh. Global warming has been leading to melting glaciers in the Himalayan region, where Ladakh is located. Shifting weather patterns are resulting in frequent flash floods, landslides, and droughts that are impacting the lives of people living in the sparsely populated villages in the region. In 2019, when Ladakh was carved out into a union territory after Articles 370 and 35A were abrogated, people in the region were happy. But locals feel that freedom from Jammu and Kashmir has come at a cost of the special status which is now abrogated Article 370 had granted. They're fighting to protect the region's identity, land, environment, and autonomy. In September 2019, the National Commission for the Scheduled Tribes recommended the inclusion of Ladakh under the 6th Schedule, noting that the new union territory was predominantly tribal, more than 97%, and its distinct cultural heritage needed preservation. The 6th Schedule contains provisions that grant indigenous tribes significant autonomy. It provides for the formation of autonomous district councils that have legislative and judicial powers. These councils can make rules and regulations governing land, forest, water, agriculture, health, sanitation, inheritance, marriage, mining, and more. Ladakh is home to nearly 3 lakh people living in its 2 districts, the main city of Leh, which is predominantly Buddhist, and Muslim-majority Kargil. Both regions are now seeking more constitutional safeguards, including statehood, with an elected legislature empowered to make laws for its people. However, after the initial proactive steps taken by the union government, it has been silent on the issue. The failure on the part of the government to act on the demand for the extension of the 6th Schedule of the Constitution to Ladakh prompted climate activist and innovator Sonam Wangchuk to go on hunger strikes. In January, he went on a 5-day hunger strike in sub-zero temperature, and in June, he went on a 10-day hunger strike. He said he will continue with these hunger strikes until his demand for the 6th Schedule to protect the fragile environment of Ladakh, its mountains, glaciers, land, people, and culture is fulfilled. In an interview with Chinky Sinha, Wangchuk highlights the importance of the 6th Schedule, the impact of climate change on Ladakh, why the region, especially the Leh city, cannot take more tourists, and why more infrastructural development should not be allowed in Ladakh. Why do you think the 6th Schedule is important for Ladakh? Asks Chinky Sinha. Wangchuk replies, I want to use all the provisions that are available to safeguard the Himalayas, and I personally feel the 6th Schedule is a good tool. It already exists. It has not been opposed by anyone. All parties have vouched for it. The BJP has promised it. So why wait? It's good for Ladakh. People have been talking about it for the last 25 years. Leaders have been discussing that if Ladakh gets union territory status, how would we save it? Save from industrialization. Now that we are a union territory, the discussion has started again. Why has government not acted on it? Asks Chinky. Our MP, Jamyang Namgyal, took up the issue in August 2019. The government was very generous, supportive, and proactive then. Even Arjun Munda, the tribal minister, came here in 2019. He said that we must safeguard Ladakh under the 6th Schedule. Simultaneously, the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes and others held meetings in Delhi. They said Ladakh is the most suitable candidate for the 6th Schedule. But when nothing happened, I made this video, Ladakh ke Man Ki Baat, addressing the Prime Minister. The tribal minister wrote to me personally and assured me that the 6th Schedule will happen. But there was a silence after that. Why wasn't the status granted to Ladakh earlier? Also, can a person like me buy land here now? Asked Chinky. It didn't happen earlier because at that time, Ladakh was under Article 370 and they were not interested in giving Ladakh anything special. But if we still don't have the 6th Schedule, then we are out of the frying pan into the fire. Regarding buying land, it's a grey zone because Article 370 is gone and new things have not happened. There are no policies, but technically it may even be possible. And if it continues like this, then rich people will buy whole valley and mountains. This is why safeguards are needed. There's a lot of identity politics as well, Chinky says. Sonam Wangchuk replies, the 6th Schedule is a beautiful instrument, which allows the government to give rights to local people to manage their region. But we need hill councils that have lawmaking rights. Right now, people who know nothing about Ladakh are sent here and given 3 years. In the case of fragile ecologies, locals should be given autonomy to manage their region. In Ladakh's case, we are lucky to be 97% tribal, so the 6th schedule is the best mechanism. For these and more, read the current issue of Outlook.